two hinds in the creek. Right in the middle. How cool is that? I'm barely 5 minutes from the truck and jump out onto this creek. I was going to use it to gain a bit of ground and head up to the tops, but these two hinds, could be a hind and a young stag. I'll have to check the footage later, but yeah, these two deer jump out into the creek, and this hind's just been happy as sitting there, or standing there. Looking back at me. I think she knows something's up, but can't quite see me or realise that I'm a threat. And the other one's just feeding the bush edge. So, man, what a good start. Hopefully it's a good omen. They're not the target species today. It's only 370 yards away, so I could probably line up, but my freezer's full at the moment. And I've got one big mission planned ahead of me today, right up onto the tops, and hopefully right up onto the tops, have a good search around up there and then come back down. Very, very tempting though. Broadside at the moment. But yeah, it's not the game plan, and as I say, the freezer's full, so just awesome to watch these animals, see what they get up to. If she goes into the bush a bit more, which looks like she's doing, I'll sneak on up there and see if I can get a bit closer. Right, well that's where the deer was standing here, and they've obviously gone into the bush here somewhere, so no sign of them. They must be a bit further in by now, but pretty good trail into the bush there, and yeah, what a bloody good way to start. So I've how do we look at the ridge that I want to go up? It's this one here. It's got the cloud surrounding the tops, and I really wanted to stand here and look and see what it looks like in person. As you know, the topos can be a little bit deceiving at times, and I've never been up this way, so it would have been nice to stand here and have a look, but not an option at the moment. It's meant to be a cracker day, and that cloud is burning off pretty quick. I might actually wait here for 5 minutes and see if I can see the full extent of that ridge, because I don't want to go busting my guts up there and then find that I can't get up. The other option is to just hug this creek. It could get a bit gutty and a bit tight in places, but yeah, they're my two options. So. I don't want to say it just yet, but it's actually really nice going for now. Either side of the creek there's a real flat bit of bush, which makes walking through a lot easier than boulder hopping. Bush is good so far. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I'm on to a winner. Fuck yeah. Holy. Whoa. Super rewarding. That was challenging at times, but it all paid off. Chamois country. Better get the binos out and start searching before I spook anything. Want something a bit fresher than that. It's warming up. It's nice, it's drying out the wet thermals and wet shorts, but hopefully it doesn't get too much hotter. That probably will. No real plan here, just walking up the valley, looking up these faces and glassing where I think is appropriate, and I'll try to get up onto there, look over the other side, and then we'll just see how I'm going. If I've got time, I'll get round the back of that big rock face, and then that's the ridge I wanted to head down. But if I don't have time, worst case scenario, I can come back this way 3 hours down the creek. But no, it's all good, just walking along, taking in the views. Had a good glass before while I was sitting down, couldn't see any chamois, but every time I walk a bit further I'm opening up new little cracks and crevices, so hopefully I can see something along the way. Really want to get up there and have a look down though, I see what's on the other side. Keep on trucking. I've just seen a sham on the other side, probably within 250 yards, so I'm just going to creep up here and get ready to go for a shot. It was on the move. Well, that chamois came out of nowhere. I think it must have come over this ridge line that I was going to try get up onto. It looked like it was running down the hill but then stopped in the creek, so it might not have been running because of me. It was just had a bit of a jog on. It crossed the creek and I managed to get a little bit of footage, and it looks a little bit young, to be fair. It's 450 yards away, and it was a pretty brief look, you'll see on the footage, but I couldn't see much hook. It's a tough one. The chamois crossed the creek and then gone behind a gut, and I thought it was going to pop out, but it hasn't, so I'm going to sneak up. Maybe it's bedded down or just feeding, and I can get a better gauge. It's a bloody big walk to get here, and I don't want to, you know, take something I'm not happy with, so it's got to be right. But that's cool. It's awesome to see. It means I am in chamois country. It looked like it. Just wasn't much sign until that chamois popped out of nowhere. Right, well, I've snuck into probably 300 yards. I'll just check. Yeah, 270 yards. It's just happy they're feeding on that face, and I've had the camera on it to assess, and it looks better than first thought. The hooks, or the length goes up above the ear, and then there are some hooks. It's definitely above the ears. If I can get in to a shooting position and it presents itself with a shot, I'm going to take it, do my bit for conservation, and it'll be a bloody good reminder of this trip if I can bring it home. So this is the most elusive chamois I've ever seen. One minute it's right in your face, and then the next minute it's just gone. Pretty thick tussocky stuff here, and that's going to be the hardest part about finding somewhere to shoot. But there's a good rock 20 yards in front of me, so I'll creep up there. Exciting. Oh, it's heartbreaking sometimes. Closed in that extra 100 yards just to make sure and assess that it was a reasonable animal, and once I got closer I realised it was. So I was going to take it, and I got into shooting position, had the gun set up, had the safety off, and then it moved, so I put the safety back on and I waited for it to get into a broadside position, but it was on to me. It was onto something anyway. It just took off up the hill and never stopped. So close to pulling the trigger, but it just didn't feel right, so I didn't do it. And yeah, it took off up the hill anyway, so it's 800 odd yards away now and way up the top of the hill, and it ran the whole way, didn't stop once to look back. Ay ay ay, highs and lows. Oh well. Really awesome to see. I got within 250 yards of it and it was happily feeding. But yeah, it must have just, I never seen it see me, but it must have, or got my wind and whew, took off up the hill. Bugger. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Oh well, it came from there, and that's where I wanted to get to have a look over the other side. So I'm here now, and I'll do that. Oh, Jesus. It's like a vertical drop down this side. and it's not nice to look at. Fuck, you crawl up over here, expect to see like a bit of a basin, and it's just, fuck. Oh, my feet are tingling thinking about it. Jesus. Well, I don't think the chamois came up over here. I mean, that's something they could probably get around in, but maybe it was just bedded down up in the scrub here. Oh, fuck. It's changed my plans a little bit. Well, I was sitting up here trying to settle down after seeing that big drop over the other edge here, and then I heard a whole lot of rocks. And there's a chamois. It looks like it's got no horns, but it's a big body, so it might have horn rot. But I'll get the camera out, see if I can get some footage. That chamois is still only 200 yards down here. Just feeding away, not a care in the world. But no hooks, absolutely no horn actually. And it's in a spot where even if it did have some and was a good animal, I don't know how I'd get to it, to be fair. Straight off here is a vertical drop, and that doesn't look much fun either, so I'm glad that it's actually got nothing going for it up top, because then I don't have to worry about getting my way down there to retrieve it. But I'm just gonna, I'm gonna carry on, leave that one to be. G'day, mate. How you doing? Sitting here taking in the view. I've glassed all these faces. There's that chamois just down here without any horns, but yeah, glassed all this valley, all these faces, and there's nothing around. I've been looking at the topo. I'm about halfway between the creek and the ridge, but to get to the ridge I've still got to go up, over, around, along, down, and yeah, I just don't know what it's like for that first couple of 100 meters dropping off. Even if I head over that way, it's not really going to open up any more country, not in this valley anyway, and over the other side I'd still have to walk quite far, and the day's ticking on quite nicely, so yeah, I'm going to have to head back this way. Just made it back to the creek, loaded up on about a litre of water. Must have needed it, and I'm going to need it for the walk out of here. So it took me about 3.5 hours to get up to here, probably 3 hours on the way back down. Just going to take it steady. A few little bits to navigate on the way down, but yeah, pretty cool day. Couple of sham, couple of reds. Unfortunately, it wasn't right when I lined up on that sham, but good to know that they're in here. Might come back someday. Thanks for watching, and hopefully on the next video I can actually seal the deal with putting an animal on the deck. But no, it's not always about putting one down. It's all about the journey as well, and I've had a bloody good day out here. So cheers for joining, and yeah, see you on the next one.